Yo, this is Zeladina representing for Dejazmatch Kwasi and the whole Lion Voice family. Now listen this is the realest thing. Him closer to me than a brother. Him a me G, me a tell him I'm a lion. Me a go tell you how me feel, me a go keep it real. Me nah go wait till him lay down on the mark. Lion Voice never talk bad about me yet. Him realness me can't forget. Cause when a game time him never bench me, him never rise up against me yet. No, the friendship connect. It's funny how we can talk in front of a million people and never yet drop no catch. So a loyalty till death. Lion Voice, and Zeladina representing. Up, up, up.
So big up Pupa Nasty Hackett. Mr. Hackett, we just call him the nasty thing, whatever you want to do. Big up yourself, Mr. Hackett, because Mr. Hackett has made a statement to the press. The PR team for Mr. Hackett is working. Mr. Hackett, a big up Shenseea. Mr. Hackett, you see him saying he's gonna hit the studio and drop some bombs on the people. You know what that means? It means Mr. Hackett got a payday.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Panafrican Happy Man. I'm an entertainment attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I'm the host of the Lion Voice. And it's Wednesday, so you know what time it is. It is time for Lion Law. And today's episode, we're going to revisit a topic that we touched on a future episode before these episodes were branded as Lion Law. While we were just on Lion Voice doing legal content, we talked about a case where Jamaican dancehall artist Shenseea was sued by a Trinidadian, New York-born Trinidadian producer for her song Lick, which she did with Megan Thee Stallion off her debut album Alpha. There was a suit, it was actually her label that was sued, Interscope, and the news has come in that a settlement has been reached. So, before we get to some of those details, I want to just big up the Lion Pride. If you subscribe, you are part of the Lion Pride. And you know, say me have to big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. You hear it sounding nice coming through these microphones. That was purchased through the contributions of the Lion Pride on Patreon. They've seen the vision. Instead of just give all their money to Netflix, Amazon, they say, you know what, I'm gonna see a content creator who's producing content I enjoy, and I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, and I'm gonna invest. So we have to big them up. They are part of Lion Pride. And if you wanna get your name on the Serengeti with the Lion Pride on Patreon, just visit the Patreon page and support. We give thanks, we have to give thanks, because again, the vision is a Rastafari owned network here on the earth's second largest search engine, which is YouTube. 3 programs: Lion Talk, Lion Law, Lion Voice, Niceness. And as I big up the Lion Pride, let me also just big up everyone who has booked a consultation, gone to the website. We have consultation both on the entertainment law side and the creative side. If you need someone to help you on the creative side, to help, just plot out and plan out your creative endeavor, we're here on that side. If you need a legal consult on your creative business, we're there on that side. You can book the consultations on the website. And again, we just give thanks for everyone who has supported. So now that the housekeeping is out of the way, let's return to the topic.
Shenseea, Interscope reached settlement with producer in Lick copyright lawsuit. By Claude Mills, April 1, 2023, dancehallmag.com. Jamaican singer Shenseea and her label Interscope Records have reached a settlement in one of the 2 copyright infringement lawsuits filed against her last year, Dancehall Mag has exclusively confirmed. Producer Anastas Pupanasti Hackett said he's pleased to bring his lawsuit to an end 1 year after filing the matter in a New York district court. He had claimed that Shenseea and Interscope, a division of Universal Music Group, released Lick without his consent, even though it sampled elements from one of his soca songs. Terms of the settlement were not disclosed in a court order dismissing the lawsuit on Friday, March 31, 2023. Hackett, who had sought over $10 million US in damages, profits, and legal fees, also told Dancehall Mag on Friday that he could not reveal the actual settlement figure because of a confidentiality agreement. This is just business. It's over and everyone is agreeable and satisfied with the outcome, the producer said. It's been over a year. It's been grueling, but I finally made it to the mountaintop, he added. Hackett thanked his manager, attorney, and spiritual allies for the lawsuit's favorable outcome. I didn't do it alone, he said. My business manager, Stephen Thompson, was with me every step of the way. Courtney, my first attorney, he was incredible. And all praises go to the Most High, Mother and Father God, and my ancestors, because in every war, it's fisticuffs, but there is a spiritual element involved, and you have to pay credence to that. And this had nothing to do against her personally. She will be big, and I wish her continued success in her career, he said.
So big up Pupa Nasty Hackett. Mr. Hackett, we just call him the nasty thing, whatever you want to do. Big up yourself, Mr. Hackett, because Mr. Hackett has made a statement to the press. The PR team for Mr. Hackett is working. Mr. Hackett, a big up Shenseea. Mr. Hackett, you see him saying he's gonna hit the studio and drop some bombs on the people. You know what that means? It means Mr. Hackett got a payday. Yeah, and I think this case is very illustrative of how copyright infringement litigation typically takes place. The work is infringed, and this case, again, look at the previous episode for the details. But allegedly Interscope hired a third-party company to clear the sample. It wasn't done until after the song was cleared. With these type of settlements, as typical, the settlement amount was not disclosed, but we can assure that Interscope had to write a large check. And it'll be interesting to see if Interscope now goes to sue the party that they hired to clear the sample, which we're gonna see. And if you remember, Mr. Hackett brought his initial litigation 1 year before the settlement date, and he filed it in a district court in New York. Again, this was a song Lick with Meg Thee Stallion. I don't know, I didn't look at the numbers where it is now, but millions of streams. Meg Thee Stallion is a massive artist. It was a big look. It was not looked upon favorably by Jamaican hardcore dancehall because the topic was completely, against dancehall culture, traditional dancehall culture, 90s dancehall culture. The younger millennials and Generation Z, there's kind of a cultural war in Jamaican dancehall to rewrite the rules and to get rid of, a lot of the things that were held sacred. So it was a controversial tune in the Jamaican space. It has now cost Shenseea label, considerably more than they would have paid if they had licensed the work prior to it being dropped. We have to also big up Denise Belfon. It was her soca song Work that Mr. Hackett produced and also co-wrote. And he owned the master and the remix as well. So again, Mr. Hackett had a tremendous payday based on this. We want to big up Dancehall Magazine for their ongoing coverage. We're going to just read a little bit. We're going to just do a little overview from Dancehall Magazine.
At work. Little Louis Vega and Kenny Dope Gonzalez. The duo had licensed the original song from Hackett, who produced and co-wrote work with Harkness Tate in Trinidad and Tobago in 1999. He owns both the original and Masters at Work remix, as detailed by Beatport. On Friday, Judge Mary K. Viscosil ordered the lawsuit discontinued without cost to any party and without prejudice to restoring the action to this court's calendar if the parties are unable to memorialize their settlement in writing and as long as the application to restore the action is made by May 1st, 2023. If no such application is made by that date, today's dismissal of the actions is with prejudice, the order added. In reply to the lawsuit, Shenseea and Interscope's lawyers Davis Wright Tremaine LLP had argued that there was a months-long good-faith negotiation for the use of the producer's song. However, Hackett had refused to sign a written contract and instead sought to renegotiate the contract after the song was released. Court records show that Interscope had hired DMG Clearances Inc. in September 2021 to do the legwork of clearing the sample with Hackett. According to an email sent to DMG later that month, the producer, through his music publisher ATAL Music Limited and their rep Alexander Escolier, initially agreed that he would approve the sample if he were paid a $5,000 US advance, 3% royalty on wholesale sales (PPD), and 15% royalty on Shenseea's net streaming on the song. However, DMG only sent the final written agreement to Escolier for Nasty's signature on February 2nd, 2022, 12 days after Lick was released on streaming platforms on January 21, 2022. By then, Hackett had fired Escolier from representing his music catalog after he learned of the song's release from colleagues who had reached out to congratulate him. Now that the lawsuit has concluded, Hackett said he will be turning his attention back toward music and getting back to my home studio.
So as you can see by the details there, Dancehall Magazine, big up yourself for the ongoing coverage of the reggae and dancehall space. But again, one of the things that I want to talk about with these type of transactions and the clearance of copyright is that, you know, it's always ideally better to clear the sample before the song is dropped. Now, it happens all the time that music goes out before the sample is cleared, and you may ask, what is the calculation, if there's a calculation, when this happens? One of the things is that you don't know if the song is going to be a hit. So oftentimes, creatives don't want to pay, you know, a hefty sum, give up publishing before they know the song, you know, could drop like a concrete balloon once you put it out there. You don't know if it's going to rise. And sometimes, you know, even if you take the hit on the publishing, you have to pay fees. A hit song, you know, the artist can tour and make money from that for life. So even though they're paying and they're not eating on the back end, you know, a hit song can change lives. So sometimes the calculation is we're just gonna put it out, see how the people receive. And sometimes the response is so quick that you can't double back and do the due diligence. And we saw that with songs like Rampin' Shop and the Vibes Cartel with the Neo. That song blew up before any sample or anything was cleared. So it's something that happens within the reggae and dancehall space. And again, there's a calculation. There's a story about Puff Daddy and Sting that he did not get the sample clearance prior to dropping the tribute to Biggie Smalls. And, you know, it's alleged that he has to pay $2,000 a day. With the money that he's paying out on that song comes out to $2,000 a day. So you can pay a massive amounts on the back end, because essentially what the person is saying is, I'm not going to take you to court. And for that person, the calculus is, if I go to court, I'm not guaranteed a huge settlement. By coming to a settlement prior to the litigation, then you can control the cost of litigation. It is very expensive to go through one of these copyright litigations, so the law firm is going to save money for the client. Also, by being able to get a result without having to take all of the time and preparation that goes into a copyright infringement litigation. So most of these infringement claims settle if there is a valid point and copyright, and this is why filing your copyrights are so important. Mr. Hackett, to his credit, had filed his copyright, so he was able to enforce that bundle of rights that we talked about way back before the Lion Law was branded in the copyright. So, question, did you hear about the settlement? If you did, drop a comment. On this channel, we're going to look at some of the litigation that is active in reggae and dancehall. We're going to try to keep following up on these cases as they're reported on, so that we can see in real world some of the terms, some of the concepts that we talk about here on Lion Law. We can see the application in the real world as it relates to litigation and how the business is operating. So we give thanks to be able to bring this update to early version of the Lion Law before we called it Lion Law, because again, the time has come for the lions to tell our own story, and this is the Lion's Voice.
Lion voice. The second beast was given the power to give breath unto the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak, and cause all who refuse to worship the image to be killed. It also forced the people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive the mark on their right hands and in their forehead. Gone down in the new world order, new world order. Happy work harder, happy pray harder. Babylon them coming with them microchip, and them prison cell, that's the new slave ship. New world order, new world order. Happy work harder, happy pray harder. Babylon them coming with them microchip, and them video game, that's the new matrix. It's a new world order, them start bleaching. Diverse doctrine, them start preaching. Angels for the stars they reaching. They're falling, never hear the lion calling. New world order, them fight against the poor. Machine and robot that sweep them floor. Machine and robot that run them stores. So them create disease ones without any cure. The new world order, new world order. Happy work harder, happy pray harder. Babylon them coming with them microchip, and them prison cell, that's the new slave ship.